What's crackin', nephew? It's your boy Michael Coles, but today, we gotta talk about some real G stuff. For years, man, for decades the street's been whispering. Is the legend, the one and only Tupac Shakur really gone? Or is he just chillin' somewhere, laying low, watching us? Every time a blurry picture pop up, the whole world lose its mind. Pac's alive, they scream. We all wanna believe it, you feel me? It's hard to let go of a king, a true poet of the struggle. The energy he brought, it ain't never been matched. The biggest rumor, the one that got real legs, is that he dipped out to Cuba. They say his aunt Assata Shakur helped him get over there. Now I ain't saying it's true, but I ain't saying it's impossible either. The timeline is what gets me, you know? When did he supposedly make that move? Was it right after Vegas? Did he have a double? We gonna get into all that, break down the theories and see what's what. We owe it to the man's legacy to look at all the angles, to separate the facts from the fiction, you dig? And look, while we on this journey through hip-hop history, we ain't stopping with just Pac, we gonna touch on the whole family tree. I got the 411 for you on what my nephew Eminem is up to, what's good with the architects from N.W.A, and my big homeboy Dr. Dre. And you know we can't forget the house that Shady built, Death Row Records and Pac's own soldiers, the Outlaws. We gonna cover it all from the past to the present, so roll one up, sit back, and let's get into this thing. It's about to be a ride, you heard? Alright, let's set the scene for real. It was September 7th, 1996, Vegas, the city of lights and lost fortunes. Pac and Suge Knight had just left the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand. The energy was high, you know how it is. They were rolling down Flamingo Road in that black BMW 750 IL, part of a whole convoy of cars. They stopped at a red light right there at Covell Lane. A white Cadillac late model pulls up on the passenger side where Pac was sitting. And then, pop 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 pop. A storm of bullets rained down on that car. It was chaos, man. Pure, unfiltered chaos on the Vegas Strip. Pac was hit 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh. Suge got grazed in the head by some shrapnel. They rushed Pac to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. For 6 days, the world held its breath. The doctors did everything they could, multiple surgeries. They even had to remove his right lung. Everyone was praying, hoping for a miracle. His mother, Afeni, was right there by his side. But the damage was too much, even for a warrior like Pac. The official word came down on Friday, September 13th, 1996. At 4:03 p.m., Tupac Amaru Shakur was pronounced dead. The cause was respiratory failure and cardiopulmonary arrest from all the gunshot wounds. But see, that's where the story gets twisted for a lot of folks. The official story, they say he was cremated the very next day, that quick, and that's the first red flag for the conspiracy theorists. Why so fast? Why no public funeral for a king? Some say his homies, the Outlaws, smoked some of his ashes, mixed with some of that good. But others say that quick cremation was the perfect cover. It meant there was no body to prove he was really gone. It was the spark that lit the fire of all the Pac's alive rumors that burn to this day, you feel me? Now let's talk about Cuba. This ain't just some random spot people pulled out of a hat. There's a reason this theory got so much gravity. Pac's godmother and aunt, Assata Shakur, a former member of the Black Liberation Army, has been living in Cuba under political asylum since the 80s. So the story goes that with her connections it would have been the perfect escape plan. A place where he could be safe, away from his enemies, away from the spotlight that was burning him up. The theory is that a plan was hatched, a body double was used, and the real Pac was whisked away to the island. Proponents of this theory, they point to his music. Listen to the Machiavelli album, the Don Columinati, the 7-Day Theory. He was talking about faking his own death, getting away from it all. He was reading Machiavelli, the Italian cat who wrote about faking your death to fool your enemies. Was he leaving us breadcrumbs? Was he telling us the plan all along? People analyze his lyrics like scriptures, finding clues everywhere. They say he's been releasing music from beyond the grave, but maybe it ain't from beyond the grave at all. Maybe it's from a studio somewhere in Havana. But let's be real, nephew. Where's the proof? All we got are grainy photos and videos that could be anybody. Every few years, a new picture surfaces of some dude who kinda looks like Pac, and the internet goes crazy. But there's never been one single piece of credible, verifiable evidence. No journalist, no fan, no investigator has ever come back from Cuba with a real interview or a clear photo. Suge Knight, the man in the car with him, has gone back and forth, sometimes playing with the idea but never given a straight yes. It's a powerful story, a hopeful one, but without proof it's just that, a story, a legend. Alright, let's switch gears for a minute and talk about another legend in the game, my nephew, the one and only Eminem. Shady is one of them cats who can just disappear into the fog and then bam, he comes back and shakes the whole world up. He ain't on social media 24/7, he ain't chasing clout, he just moves in silence and lets the music do the talking. And lately, the talk has been getting loud. After dropping a few years back and shaking things up, he's been relatively quiet on the solo front, but you know he's always cooking. Just recently, the big news dropped that sent everybody into a frenzy. M announced his new album. Man, even the title is a whole event. He dropped a trailer for it, like a whole movie with a fake crime reporter talking about how Slim Shady was killed. He even had 50 Cent in there saying, he's not a friend, he's a psychopath. It's classic M, man. Blurring the lines, playing with his own persona, and getting everybody hyped up. This is supposed to be the final chapter for his Slim Shady alter ego. It's a whole funeral for the character that made him a superstar. So what can we expect? You know it's gonna be lyrical gymnastics. He's gonna be pushing buttons, probably offending a few people, and reminding everybody why he's on the Mount Rushmore of lyricists. The first single, Houdini, just dropped, and it's already got people talking, bringing back that old school Without Me vibe. He's back in that blonde hair, that superhero costume. It's a throwback, but it feels fresh. M is showing that even after all these years, he can still command the world's attention with a single verse. The king of controversy is back on his throne. You can't talk about West Coast hip-hop, you can't talk about my career, you can't even talk about Eminem without talking about the architects. I'm talking about N.W.A. and the Good Doctor, my big brother, Dr. Dre. N.W.A. as a group. Their time was like a lightning strike, powerful, bright, and over too quick, but their impact, man, it's forever. It's in the DNA of the game. These days, the members are legends in their own right. Ice Cube is a movie mogul, a big-time actor, and still drops heat when he feels like it. MC Ren and DJ Yella are still holding it down, doing shows and keeping the legacy alive. And Eazy-E, rest in peace to the godfather of gangsta rap, his spirit lives on. But let's focus on the maestro. Dr. Dre is like the Halley's Comet of hip-hop. He might not come around often, but when he does, it's a spectacle. He's a perfectionist, a sonic genius. He's been busy behind the scenes, you know, building that billion-dollar empire with Beats and Apple. But the music is always calling him back. He was a huge part of the Super Bowl LVI halftime show, bringing me, M, 50, Mary J, and Kendrick together for one of the most legendary performances of all time. It was a celebration of everything he built. Lately, Dre's been back in the lab, and the word is he's been working on new music. He even got his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame right next to mine, which was a beautiful thing to see. He showed up looking healthy, happy, and ready. There are always whispers of a new Dre album. The mythical has become more of a hip-hop ghost story than a real project. But he did drop some tracks for the expansion a while back, which showed us he's still got that Midas touch. Whatever Dre does next, whether it's producing for a new artist or blessing us with his own project, you know the whole world is gonna stop and listen. Now let's bring it back home, to the label that defined an era, for better or for worse. Death Row Records. Man, back in the day, being on Death Row was like being on the '92 Dream Team. We had Pac, Dre, myself, the Dog Pound, we were untouchable, running the charts in the streets. But after Pac's death and all the drama that followed, the Row fell on hard times. It changed hands a bunch of times and the iconic brand kinda lost its way. It was sad to see, like watching your old high school get torn down. But then, something amazing happened. Something full circle. I, your Uncle Snoop, the Dogfather himself, went and bought Death Row Records. That's right. The brand is back in the hands of the family. I'm the new owner. My goal is to bring it back to its former glory, but do it the right way. Make it a home for artists, a place where creativity can flourish without the drama. We're putting out new music. We brought the classic catalog to streaming platforms, and we're even stepping into the future with NFTs and the metaverse. Death Row is now about the future of music, built on a legendary foundation. And what about Pac's soldiers, his crew, the Outlaws? They were right there with him, his lyrical army. After Pac passed, they carried the torch, dropping albums and touring the world to keep his memory and message alive. Idi Amin and Young Noble are the main members holding it down today. They've stayed incredibly consistent, releasing projects and collaborating with artists all over. They are the living history of Pac's final years. They ain't just riding on nostalgia. They're still making relevant music and making sure the world never forgets the principles of thug life and the heart of the man who created it, the Outlaws for life. So there you have it. We walked through the fire, talked about the facts, the myths, and the legacy of my homeboy Tupac. Whether you believe he's on an island somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar, or that he's up in the sky looking down on us, one thing ain't up for debate. His spirit is still here. It's in the music, it's in the poetry, it's in every rapper who ain't afraid to speak his mind. A voice like that don't just fade away, you dig? It echoes through time. Pac gave us the blueprint on how to be more than just a rapper, but a leader, a revolutionary. And look at the family tree, look at the branches that grew from the roots we laid down back on the West Coast. You got Eminem still dropping atom bombs on the game. You got Dre, the master architect, still building monuments of sound. You got Death Row back in the hands of the Dogfather, ready for a new chapter. The story ain't over, it keeps evolving, keeping it G, just like it's supposed to. We built something that's gonna outlive all of us. It's a testament to the power of this thing we call hip-hop. So keep listening, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep the legacy alive. Play them old records, tell the youngins about the real ones, because a legend never really dies as long as we keep saying his name. Tupac Shakur, remember that. This is your boy Michael Cole signing off. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, and much love.